tonight? Okay. Come here and relieve stress. University students are still gathered in the common hall of their dormitory on a Friday night. With the dim light above the old reading table, the atmosphere has shifted from study session to ghost storytelling time. The beat event at night with strong wind. Tonight, we bring you 10 legends from our university. Stories passed down from generation to generation. Just some spooky tales to ease your mind before bed. Or maybe not. Not enough for everyone and for everything's here.
Number 1. The 4th floor bathroom. They say no one should use the women's bathroom on the 4th floor of the main lecture building after 5 p.m. There have been reports of the sound, reports of leather shoes dragging across the floor in the last stall, even when no one is there. One student shared her story that she once had a stomachache while studying late, and she rushed into that very bathroom, despite knowing its eerie reputation. While in the stall, she heard shuffling noises next door. When looking down, she saw 2 sets of feet, even though she was the only one inside. She ran out immediately. The adjacent stall was empty. No signs of somebody, as she had hoped. But when she turned to the mirror, it bore long drag marks, as if someone from the other side was trying to communicate.
After finishing the last story, everyone agreed that it was probably just someone playing a prank. After all, anyone could have made those handprints on the mirror. With that, they moved on to the next story.
Number 2. The old music room. The music rehearsal room beneath the activity building was the site of a tragic fire 10 years ago. Everybody said that violin music can still be heard there, especially on the anniversary of the incident. A student from the music club once returned at night to retrieve a forgotten bag. As he opened the door, a slow, mournful melody played from nowhere. Glancing toward the wall, he saw a shadow of someone holding a violin, standing exactly where the storage table should have been. The story is forbidden from being told publicly due to fears of damaging the club's reputation. Still, many members over the years have admitted to hearing that sound.
Number 4. The class photo mystery. A certain faculty, they has a tradition of taking group class photos every semester. But someone noticed that every photo had an unfamiliar face, one no one could identify. In a photo from the second semester of first year, a woman stands at the far end. No one remembers her being in the class. In past photos, similar shadowy figures always lingered near the dark corner. An adjunct professor mentioned that decades ago, a girl vanished after a group photo. The last picture of her was exactly like all the others, standing quietly at the same edge.
Number 5. The new building cameras. A newly constructed academic building is equipped with CCTV on every floor. Yet the fourth floor camera malfunctions every night at exactly midnight, for reasons no one can explain. One IT intern decided to check the old backup footage. He saw a male student exiting from the fourth floor bathroom and disappearing into a wall where there should have been no exit. He reported it to building management. The next day, the computer he used vanished. He was abruptly reassigned and warned, "Don't speak of this again, no matter what." But no one told him why or what happened.
At this point, the girls noticed that now we have more listeners. Don't know when they had joined group Ghost Story. Perhaps other students were also seeking a break from studying night. Still awake? Come share your ghost story too, but wait until after the 6th one.
Number 6. The anatomy storage room. The old medical building houses many mannequins and models of human anatomy. On certain nights, the eyeless models seem to look back when someone passes by. One med student once entered to borrow a skeleton model for an upcoming class. He heard a dragging sound, that like plastic scraping the floor, and he saw a model that had shifted from its usual pose and was now tilting its head upward, as if watching him. He ran away, hearing the scraping behind him. He reported it, but no one believes him. But the CCTV? It showed nothing. But there was many people who confirm that they have experienced the same thing.
Okay, that's the end of story 6. It's your turn to tell. But they said they had nothing to tell because they had already told their story. Then it's okay, because we still have many things to do tonight.
Number 7. The old dorm balcony. In the women's old dorm, a student once took her own life from the 3rd floor balcony. Ever since, under strong moonlight, people say they see a figure standing with her back turned on that very spot. One girl told her roommate opening the window to speak with someone outside, but there was no one there. After that night, her roommate refused to touch that window ever again. She still dreams of whispers saying, "I'm still here, always."
Number 9. The bell from the abandoned building. One classroom building was closed due to structural damage. It has no electricity. Yet some nights, students nearby hear the school bell ring from its top floor. A student once heard it at 3 a.m., and he saw flickering lights. He returned in daylight and found a decayed classroom with a chalkboard message: "Today's lesson is death." That night, he dreamed he was in that class, and everybody, face around him, was blank. But he could feel that all eyes were spot on him. Number 10, The Curse of Locker Number 27.
Just as they were about to share the 10th tale, the lights suddenly flicked on. The elderly dorm warden entered, telling them curfew was over and they should all head back to their rooms. Though disappointed, the 6 girls complied. But when they turned back to look, all the other students who had gathered to listen were gone. Don't know when they disappeared, but the dorm warden hurried them along and refused to answer questions. 3 days later. None of them had seen the elderly dorm warden again. Because of curious, they asked another staff member about her elderly whereabouts. But staff member only to be told that the elderly woman described had passed away from illness 10 years ago. The student girls refused to believe it because all of them clearly saw her that night. But the staff member simply smiled and said,
When you tell ghost stories, did you know that if a story really happened, the spirit of the one in that story might come to join and listen, just to see whether you're telling it with respect or not? But don't worry, the elderly dorm warden's ghost is still watching over you. That's why she told you to go to bed, so nothing else would happen to you.
"Now you know where everyone else disappeared that night."